evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of State of the State. I am Sunday Kolawole. Today, but the major gist of today's conversation will center on the Ondo State Governors Advisory Council (GSC), which on Saturday, August the 9th, held its maiden meeting hosted by Governor Lucky Orimisayedatua. The GSC is made up of selected members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Ondo State, with the objective of offering counsel and support to the governor on issues of governance and the growth of the ruling party. The Governors Advisory Council is under the chairmanship of former chairman of the Board of Directors of NNPC Limited and former National Vice Chairman of the APC, Chief Pius Akinyele, while the National Vice Chairman Southwest of the party and former secretary to the state government, Honorable Isaac Kikimeke, serves as the secretary of that council. Both Akinyele and Kikimeke attended the inaugural meeting alongside other members of the body at the banquet hall of the government house in Akure. It was a closed-door meeting actually, but they deliberated on various issues bordering on the development of the state under Governor Aiyedatiwa and the growth of the APC ahead of the 2027 general elections. The GSC meeting came barely 1 week after the governor hosted the party's caucus meeting and ahead of the general stakeholders meeting of the party. While briefing journalists after that meeting, the GSC chairman, Chief Akinyele, described it as a fruitful one, noting that it focused on strengthening ties between government and the party. Former APC National Vice Chairman, Southwest, Pastor Bankole Luajana, who happens to be my guest on today's program, commended the governor for convening the council and noted that the closed-door format encouraged frank discussions. Former Senator Professor Ajayi Borough is also part of the meeting and explained that the council plays a key advisory role to Governor Aiyedatiwa on policies and party unity. Also speaking, Chief Jami Ekunba and Honorable Awude Akinsewa Pata both commended the governor for convening the GSC meeting, stressing that it will strengthen the party in the state ahead of the next general elections. So many issues came up at that meeting, and of course, we were briefed as journalists at that meeting. Now, joining me for the conversation on that advisory council is the former vice chairman of the APC Southwest and member of the Governors Advisory Council, Pastor Bankole Luajana. Thank you so much for joining me on State of the State via Zoom.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kolawole. Viewers, good evening to you.
Well, I think we should get started on this matter. I'd like to know what actually necessitated the setup.
Mr. Kolawole, it's nice being with you here. I can hear you clearly.
Thank you so much, sir.
Viewers, I say good evening.
Thank you so much. Now, let's set the ball rolling, Pastor Bankole. What necessitated the setup of this Elders Council, the Governors Advisory Council in Ondo State? What necessitated that thing? Was it a case of rancor in the party, or was it a case of just setting it up to copy something? What exactly is the rationale behind this council?
Well, first and foremost, I didn't hear you clearly at the beginning of your question, but I got the latter part of it.
All right then.
You asked me about the rationale.
The rationale behind it. I think that's fair enough.
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Governor will be in a better position to give you an answer to that. But on my part, I would just say that it's a very good move by him, and it can't be at a better time than this. I will tell you the rationale why he decided to set it up.
It can't be at a better time than this.
It can't be at a better time than this, yes.
Those are your words. I'd like to know why this is the best of time.
I said so. Best of time because we're all mindful of the challenges out there emanating from the national economic challenges that we have. And we should be conscious of the fact that it's less than 6 months of what I call the first time of this present government. So definitely the first couple of months, 3-4 months, I'm sure the governor would have used that to put some things in place. And so this is the best time for him to set up the council, which I think, or I'm sure would be of great benefit to him as the governor and to the state.
All right. I asked that question, Pastor Bankole Luajana. I asked that question because it's important to know why you think this is best of time beyond the preparations for the next election. You're saying that there are many other things that are before the party, and then considering the national economic outlook. So, is it safe to say that your party is G3? And so you feel that you should set up this council to mitigate the G3 nature of your party ahead of future elections?
I'm sure the indications don't suggest any sort of fear on the part of our party.
Okay.
When you look at what is happening in all the states, take on those states, for example, I can hardly identify up to 5 serious politicians that are in the opposition. More and more are joining us every day. That's in those states. And so it is in all the several states of the Federation. And if you observe, you can hardly identify any governor that is presently not working for the present APC government at the center. So it's not a matter of being G3. It's as a matter of fact that after the president has taken off, after the present government took off, there have been a lot of economic changes here and there. The devaluation of the naira, the removal of the subsidy, and we are beginning to stabilize now as far as the economy of the nation is concerned. So this is the time for us now to focus specifically on our state as to how we can capitalize on the solid foundation that has been set by the president at the national level. There has been some stability so far. The economy has been stabilized. So when I said that it can't be at a better time, this is the time for us now to take off massively in the state, in all areas of governance, and the council can be of tremendous help at this particular stage.
Well, we will come back to issues of economic stability if time permits in this conversation. But I'd like to know if this is a way of copying Lagos state politics, because GSE is almost synonymous to Lagos state politics since the administration of then governor, now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is this a way of trying to pattern the politics of Ondo State after that of Lagos State? Is it workable?
Let me just say this. If something is working out well, then it's worthy of being copied. I'm not so sure what might have instigated the governor to set it up. But if you are saying that it's like, it's similar to what has been established in Lagos State, it's obvious to every one of us that when it comes to crisis management, when it comes to economic management, when it comes to progress in all areas of governance, definitely Lagos State will serve as a good example. And we can't shy away from the fact that something happened in Lagos State recently. There was a conflict, an obvious conflict between the speaker and the governor, and the gap came in readily. We are not going to wait until we have crisis before we also have our own council. Let me also note that before the crisis in Lagos State, that body has been existed for a long time. And Lagos State is one state that is making such a stride that I think if there's something to copy from them, we should copy it. But the governor will know why he set up the GAC in Ondo State.
Is it safe to say you are also considering that this is a copy of the GSC in Lagos State then?
Well, I won't say that it's well, I don't know what the governor has in mind. I don't know other structures that were managed.
All right, let's move ahead then. Many of the view that Governor Aiyedatiwa is on the path of entrenching himself as the godfather of Ondo State politics with this move. To what extent is this view correct?
But definitely, there is a template in added, or some things will be reduced. Time will tell.
Okay. All right, I guess the network didn't allow that flow to go seamlessly. But let me ask this again. There are many people who feel that this move by the governor of Ondo State is a way of entrenching himself as the godfather of Ondo State politics that would also make him to perpetuate himself beyond his time in office and then have influence on the political tone and calibration of Ondo State. Do you think this view is correct?
Well, I honestly believe that whatever will make the government to stabilize is worth doing. But to actually now say that, oh, that's a way of perpetuating himself in power, let me remind you that the governor is not a military governor. He's a civilian governor, and there are rules, there are constitution, there are laws governing.
If you permit me, if you permit me, what I'm saying is somehow the view that he's trying to entrench himself as the godfather of Ondo State politics, not paralyzing himself in power. Godfather of Ondo State politics.
Everybody in power, everybody that's in governance has a dream, has a plan, and if you look back at the history of Ondo State, there are some governors that have established something that I know them for. If you look at Baba Ajashin, that's a name you can never forget. If you remember Baba Defarati, you can never forget him. If you remember Agagu, oh wow, I mean we all have good things to say about him. So, and I'm so sure Akedolu is still very much fresh in our memory. The Amotekun at national level can never be written off. So I'm so sure that Governor Aiyedatiwa will have his plan of what will make him to leave footprints in the sand of time. If that is what we regard as entrenching himself as godfather of Ondo State politics, oh, so be it. If I become governor today, that is I will do, I've never be forgotten. But that is for him to at least be sure that he leaves his footprints in the sand of time.
Has he shared this vision with you?
He needs to do. Pardon?
Has he shared this vision with you? Again. Has he shared this vision with you?
We have only had one meeting of GAC.
Okay.
And I'm sure as we have more meetings, things will become clearer. But of course, he shares some things with us. His plans to make the state better. His plans to have more roads here and more roads. His plan to be sure that the economy of the state is improved. We listen to him, we made comments, but I'm sure we hear more of this. Okay. And as things move on, the image will become clearer.
Okay, well, you are one of the very, very highly revered leaders of the APC in Nigeria, and bringing up this council at a time like this, someone would like to ask if there's synergy between this council and the leadership of the party in Ondo State, especially considering the accusations and there by members of the opposition parties and also by very many people who feel that all is not well between the governor and the leadership of the party. But then repeatedly the agents and spokesperson of the governor said everything is fine. Look at what happened recently, considering the issue of movement for Tinubu's re-election, coming under one umbrella and all of those issues. It's all well between the council and the party leadership in the state. Is there synergy at all?
Well, if oppositions are now talking about that, it shows how unemployed they are, or rather how unoccupied they are. Let me quickly say this. I know that in recent time we'll be having groups coming up here and there, and some people, particularly in the opposition, may think that, oh, there's no synergy in the party. That's far from it. From time immemorial, we'll be having groups. Over the years, we'll be having groups. And let me say this. Politics is about meetings. Politics is about sharing ideas. Politics is about interest. Politics is about getting people to support your vision. When the more you are, the stronger you become. So groups are formed so that they can have very good hold within the party. And that cannot be discouraged. So I'm so sure that the party in the APC, we have several of them at national level, at the state level, we have many of them, and we are encouraging more to come. That does not mean that they are not working with government. And let me say that there are many people that are in those groups. They are also in the government meetings, in the caucus meeting, even in this governor, the council that are just established. There are one or two people you see there that are also in other groups. Groups is part of the government. Group is part of the party. It does not work against the party. And every group has its objectives. A group can be formed for the president, to get the president back to power. A group can be formed to support Governor Aiyedatiwa. It does not mean that they are in any way working against each other. So it is encouraged. And let me say this. If you are in any vehicle and you are not hearing any sound, you have to be sure that you are still moving. When you are moving in the vehicle, you will hear sounds here and there. You have to hear some friction. You have some noise, you have some the horn, you have a couple of things. When you put your step on the brake, it makes some sound. So when you hear sound here and there, it's actually a sign that we are making some progress. We are moving.
What's the synergy between your council, therefore, and the leadership of the party in the state?
The chairman of the party is a member of the council. There are people. I'm a party member. I'm in the council. I think, as a matter of fact, the role of the council. Again, you have mentioned the issue of Lagos State. I think that's an example of a similar body, and we can look at the operation of that council. Whenever there's a conflict between government, between the executive and the legislature, they come in there. If there's a problem between the party structure and the executive and even the legislative, they come in there. It's a group of elders. If you look at people that are there, except people that are there because of the position they occupy, there are some people that are there whether because it or because they occupy one position or the other. People that are there by way of choice, that are not occupying any position as such, they are all elders. They are all people above 70. There's nothing again that they want that they be quarreling with anybody on anything. It's presumed that they be very objective on issues. It's presumed that the governor will listen to them on the suggestions that they will make. I had an interview recently, and I told the interviewer that, look, there are people not looking for appointment by the governor, so they can look him straight in the face and tell him that, oh, Mr. Governor, yes, you are a leader in the state. We think these things can be done better. And that was why I actually commended the governor for giving a room for that. And I look forward to seeing such happening in our subsequent meetings. So there's no room for conflict. There's no room for conflicts.
All right then. But before I go on my first break on this outlook, I like to know how advisory can this council really be in the face of dissenting voices in politics. I'm not a politician, but then by my experience as a journalist over the years, I've seen that in politics there will always be dissenting voices. In political party management there will always be dissenting voices. Management of such dissent is what makes the strength of such a gathering. How courageous or how advisory would this council be in the face of such dissent?
Again, I will take off from the last answer I gave. People in this council are people that can stand up to anyone and comment and give an opinion that is not in any way subjective, in any way unfair to anybody. One beautiful thing about democracy is that where you have 10 people, you can have divergent opinion, but you tend to go towards the one that seems to be louder in terms of number. That's what we call democracy. But let me also say this. Because we are not constitutionally established, our role will be pure advisory, an advisory role to Mr. Governor. It's Mr. Governor that has the responsibility for this government. He's the leader of this government. He's one that has been elected by the people. It's out of his own voluntary volition that they have set up this council. So our opinions, our views are not in any way mandatory on the governor. But of course we remind the governor again and again that if things don't go the way it is expected, we also come back and say, Mr. Governor, we told you so. We advised you. But he is the one to pick whatever I want to pick out of our various opinions or suggestions we make to him. But we add there that I believe that Mr. Governor that has set up this body, we also listen to the voices of the people and we make decisions that be in the best interest of the state.
Well, I love your submission, and I do hope that the people of the state also align with your submission. But we will go on a break. When we return, we'll still have a lot to talk about on this plane, because you remember a former president in Nigeria once said that I appointed you people as my advisors. You could advise me, and I could decide to take your advice, or then I could also decide to reject it. In the face of rejecting your advice and then things boomerang, how do you handle that as elders in the advisory council? That will be when we come back from this break. Everyone, please do stay with us. We'll be right back.
The maiden meeting of the Ondo State Governors Advisory Council under the chairmanship of former National Vice Chairman of the APC, Pius Akinyelure, while the National Vice Chairman, Southwest of the party, Isaac Ikemeke, serves as the secretary. Hosted by the leader of the party in the state, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, the closed-door meeting deliberated on various issues bordering on the growth and development of the state. The GAC meeting came barely a week after the governor hosted the party's caucus meeting and ahead of the general stakeholders meeting. Speaking with journalists after the meeting, the GAC chairman, Pius Akinyelure, described the parley as fruitful, noting that it focused on strengthening ties between the government and the party.
I am encouraged by the participation of our members. At the end of the day, it came out to the fact that we all believe we are a bridging gap. We want to make sure the government and the party have the same common goal, and whatever is going on in government is exposed to the party people, so they can equally go back to the public and disseminate the news about the activities of government.
Former APC National Vice Chairman Southwest, Bankole Oluwajana, commended the governor for convening the council, noting that the closed-door format encouraged frank discussions.
So when people want to tell each other the truth, you close the door. One thing that is very, very commendable is the governor's receptive attitude to everything. For instance, for him, he has shown a lot of wisdom in accommodating everyone, no matter what your views were, before he became the governor in the state. So in summary, it was a wonderful meeting, very wonderful meeting, and very soon you'll begin to see the effectiveness of the decisions that we have taken.
Former Senator Professor Ajayi Borofis explained that the council plays a key advisory role to the governor on policies and party unity.
As a council, we are to advise Mr. Governor on issues concerning his policies and the unity of the party. And that is exactly what we have done. Those who have some issues have raised it, and the governor has responded to them.
Other members of the GAC, Jamiu Ekungba and Awode Yapata, stressed that the meeting will strengthen the party in the state ahead of the next general elections.
The person would therefore now say, look, if this thing works in Lagos, it has been done in Odo State before, but how did it work? Now I want it to be done for me. It means that the governor is a person who wants to do what is right. That is ab initio what I got from it. And what I therefore demand of Odo State people now is, let's give him our support.
We try as much as possible to make sure that we support the government to achieve the goals and his objectives in being the governor of the state. And part of it is to see how we can, number one, development of the state, the values that can be added to the state to make the state to move forward, and the party itself.
On the outcome of the meeting, the GAC Secretary Isaac Ikemeke said the meeting aimed at stabilizing the government and party in the state.
We have also agreed that support groups, particularly presidential support groups, can continue to exist. It's their right to do so, but that they do not serve as alternative to the party. And that support groups cannot be used to divide the party. Support groups are meant to support the party and basically for now to support the presidential aspirations of our own father and the national leader of our own party, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Other leaders at the meeting included former Deputy Governor Ali Olanusi, Tayo Alasho-Adura, retired General Funsho Oyeneyin, Shola Iji, Bode Sumonu, Mayowa Akinfolarin, Ayodeji Oyedele, and Taiwo Fashoranti, among others. From the banquet hall of the government house in Akure, Wahab Bankole, OSR.
Edo State Governors Advisory Council and its roles in entrenching good governance in the state. Still very much with me on the program is a member of the council, Pastor Bankole Oluwajano. Thank you so much for still being with me on State of the State.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Kolawole.
All right, let's continue. We stopped at...
Mr. Kolawole, thank you. I can hear you.
Very well. Thank you very much. We stopped at considering the possibility of your advice not accepted by the convener or the founder of the council. What happens in such situation? Will there be a case of trying to say, okay, since the governor did not see reason with us, we're no longer part of this council, or we just fold our arms and look at what happens? If he doesn't listen to us, anything that happens. What will be the disposition of the council in such a situation?
Well, there is a very good story in the Bible.
Okay.
And I'm sure we'll have a similar story in the Holy Quran.
Okay.
And the story of the unjust judge. And the widow who kept on going to the just judge for justice is in Luke 18, verse 1 to 8.
Okay.
The Bible, the judge was not listening, the unjust judge, or because the widow kept on banging the door, kept on repeating the counsel, kept on asking for justice. The unjust judge was forced to listen. So in the imaginary story of the governor not listening to the counsel, which I doubt, because I must say here that I've met the governor a couple of times, and on the occasions I've met him, I went away with the impression, oh, this is a man that listens, this is a man that makes decisions that seem right after listening to the advice or whatever my suggestions are, and of course he did justice to those issues. So with that impression, I have no reason to believe that the governor will not listen to the advice of this group of wise men.
He's human being. If you agree with me, Pastor Bankole.
Yes.
He's human being.
I'm saying that
he's also a human being.
Yeah, he is. Yes, and that's why I refer to the biblical story.
Okay.
That you keep on repeating your wise counsel. Keep on repeating that, your excellency, this is the interest of the state, this is the interest of the people, and I can bet it with you. If that counsel is good, the governor will listen. Where governors always have challenge is that they don't have the opportunity of listening to people outside the corridor of power. And more often than not, people in the corridor of power, most people in the executive will always tell the governor or the president whatever they want to hear, and they always come with a good story that people outside are applauding him, when actually people outside may not be applauding him. But this council gives an opportunity for the governor to hear from other people that are not expecting his approval for any specific thing. And the same wisdom that has made him to set up the council will make him listen to the counsel of these people if it's in the interest of the state.
Okay, but I think I get your point. This council is called Advisory Council. And you agree with me that there are certain things that will really indeed make it an advisory council. There could also be things that could make it to become an adversarial council, if you understand my drift. So, have you been able to also preempt and look at what could such be, and then look at how to mitigate against it even before it comes?
Well, what can now become adversary is when members begin to fight for their own interests, personal interests, or the interests of people they regard as their group members or associates. And I have reason to believe that these wise men, they've gone through all this. Many of them have been in governance before. Many of them they've been senators. Many have been in positions of authority. I believe that, I hope that this time around they will put the interest of the state above personal interest. And whenever whenever they are giving any advice, it will be obvious that this is in the interest of the state and not for personal interest. But then, of course, someone like me always bring up the issue of the road that leads to Ijare, my hometown. Any opportunity I bring it up that road has to be tarred. I'm sure Governor will listen to that. But honestly, except for such issues, I honestly believe that whatever suggestions they are going to make, I hope so, will not because of any pecuniary interest. It will be because of the interest of the state.
Possible again, we still have a few more minutes, and let's look at certain issues. In our opening conversation, you did talk about this council coming at a no better time than this. You also did say that the economy is now being stabilized, in your own words. In the face of the economic situation in Nigeria, in the face of what the common man faces day in, day out, do you think in good conscience you could say the economy is now being stabilized?
Mr. Konawole, put that question to a farmer in Idori. I wait for the answer I will give you.
I put it to you, so which answer would you give me?
You that it can't be at a better time as far as the economy is concerned. I never explained to you.
Okay.
Whoever works, people talk about the prices of things. Prices of things. Anyone that works, and any type of work for whatsoever, farming, carpentry, your prices will also go out. And will also go up. And Mr. Konawole, obviously, you get paid for what you do. And it will be at the rate at which the market goes now. So it can't be at a better time. Let me just crack a joke before you leave off. I was having a discussion with one woman, and she was complaining about the price of pawpaw. That pawpaw that was selling for 500 naira some months ago is now being sold for 1,500, and the fellow kept on complaining that Nigeria is turning bad. And you know what I did?
Okay.
I just called somebody in my farm. Please go and plant more seeds of seedlings. I also want to sell pawpaw. My pawpaw will not be 1,500, probably be 800 naira, and that'll be good gain. What I'm saying is that if you are working any type of work whatsoever, and you are very creative, it can't be at a better time. And that's just the truth. The economy is getting stronger and stronger. It's only a lazy man that should be crying. The world is a global market, and the prices that are going up is also for your benefit if you are working. There's a Yoruba saying, "Iṣẹ́ lògùn iṣẹ́." Put in more effort and take benefit of what is happening in the economy of the country now.
Someone like someone like the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party would not agree with you. Just recently he did assert
he will
that
never agree with anything. He will never agree with anything that this government says.
Just a moment.
Yes,
he did say that he did say there is hunger in the land, and that the economy of Nigeria is not just a case of the figures that we're brandishing all around. So beyond the economic figures, the statistics, do you really think that we're making progress?
Mr. Konawole, we are making progress. And the man you are referring to, by the way, without being sounding too critical of him, whatever I say should be taken with ambition for presidency is overshadowing a very objective analysis of the economy. But please go to any economist, not all the ones that come to the stations. Now go to serious economists. They will tell you that we are making good progress and criticizing. It can't be at a better time for anyone that is hard working to push something out there in the market. You will make money. Even when you put water in the bottle, the price will go up. And that is just the truth. Things are getting better for those that are working hard and hard enough.
Pastor Bakulu Ajano, former Vice Chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC in Southwest and member of the Ondo State Governors Advisory Council. I have to thank you so much for your time on State of the State today. Thank you for sparing time to answer these very important questions in the affairs of our dear state. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Kolawole. It's nice being with you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of State of the State this week. With returns next week, God willing. I'm Sunday Kolawole. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much, Daddy.
Mr. Kolawole.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sir.
Ṣé àwọn ọgbọ́n wa mọ́?
Àti kúrò.